We're in a parking space in Lewisham and I'm going to teach you the show me, tell me questions.
Yes.
These are quite important because at the beginning of your driving test, the examiner will ask you a vehicle safety question. They'll ask you one tell me question before you start driving and then a show me question while you are driving.
Okay.
It's actually not that important. Because if you get one wrong, you get a driver fault, which is a minor.
Okay.
14 left to play with?
Yeah.
Cool. But it's a bad way to start your test, like not knowing the thing.
Yeah.
If you answer it correctly and they're like, yeah, great, thanks. Gives you a little bit of a confidence boost and you get a tick in the box.
Yes.
So we do want to take it seriously. Guess what happens if you get both questions wrong though?
Is it major?
No, still just one minor. You're going to ask me the questions, I'm going to give you the response, and I'm going to edit this video, put it on YouTube, and you can revise it before your test.
Yes.
Sick.
Okay.
So can you.
Tell me how you check that the brakes are working before starting a journey.
Okay, so the brakes shouldn't feel spongy or slack. That's the test. So you're going to press them before you start moving. The brakes shouldn't then feel like loose, floppy.
Yeah.
They shouldn't feel like blancmange.
Yeah.
They should feel like there's brakes pressing the brake discs. Then when you set off, test them again, and the car shouldn't pull to one side.
Yeah.
Next.
Great. Tell me where you find the information for the recommended tyre pressures for this car and how tyre pressures should be checked.
Okay, so sometimes
where you
tyre
find
pressures are inside the fuel filler cap. Sometimes they're in a sticker inside the door frame, but tyre pressures are always in the manual.
Okay.
They'll tell you the exact tyre pressures that you should be using on the car.
Yeah.
And you should check them using a pressure gauge.
Okay. Pressure gauge.
That's the answer. So you could just really easily say, oh, it's in the manual, and I'll check it using a pressure gauge.
Okay. Great.
And you don't have to give exact answers. You don't even have to say what I'm saying. You don't have to say what it says on the DVSA website. You just need to sound like you know what you're talking about.
Tell me how you make sure your head restraint is correctly adjusted so it provides the best protection in the event of a crash.
Well, this car doesn't actually have adjustable headrests. Some cars don't have adjustable headrests. But if you do have an adjustable headrest, then the headrest needs to be in line with your ears or eyes. The middle of the headrest in the middle of your head. Done.
Tell me how you check the tyres to ensure that they have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe to use on the road.
Imagine if I got one of these questions wrong. That would be embarrassing.
I remember that from the theory.
Go on, tell me.
It's 1.6
Yes.
millimetres.
Yep.
That's the minimum.
The minimum your tyres can be,
Yeah.
1.6 millimetres. In the middle 3/4 of the tyre, around the whole of the tyre. What else should the tyre not have to be safe?
Any cuts.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Theory actually works. Any cuts or like bulges?
yes,
Great.
cuts and bulges, 1.6 millimetres. They're the three key things you have to say for that
But you
question.
you can have different wheels from different places.
Yeah.
And yeah. But
that's the only three things that you need to have
They're the three
safe
things.
tyres. Yeah.
okay. Tell me how you check that the headlights and tail lights are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle.
Okay, so the headlights and taillights, there's lots of questions about lights on the question bank. What they're asking is if the bulbs are working, not if the system's working.
Okay.
And if the bulb's not working, sometimes the system will still show that the light's activated. So you would need to get out of the car to answer these questions. Well, not to answer the questions, but the answer will be get out and check it.
Oh,
So
okay.
how do we turn on our headlights and taillights? We turn on the dipped headlights.
Yeah.
And that night, when you turn on the dipped headlights, you get 2 white lights on the front, that's
Yeah.
your headlights, and 2 dim red lights go on the back of the car, that's your tail lights. So to answer that question, we'll turn on the dipped headlights and get out and check the front and the back. You don't have to get out, you just
But
say
you
I would
say.
get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how you know if there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system.
Ah, this is a good one. Really easy as well. On the dashboard, there's a light, a warning light that says ABS. If there's a problem, that comes on.
Okay. Great.
And the colour, because sometimes they ask, is amber. If you want to see all of your warning lights, then you can switch the engine off, try that. And then when you turn the key, all of the warning lights come up so you can find it in your car.
Oh, yeah.
There it is on the right.
ABS, top
Yeah.
right.
Cool.
Tell me how you check the direction indicators are working. You
Okay.
don't need to exit the vehicle.
So again, they're asking about bulbs. So to turn on all of the indicators, we'll press this one. That's your hazard lights.
Yeah.
That makes all the indicators flash, and then you'll just get out and check each bulb.
Okay. Great.
Nice. Easy.
Tell me how you check the brake lights are working on this car.
Okay, again, we're checking the bulbs.
Yeah.
How do we turn the brake lights on? You have to press the bloody brakes. If you press the bloody brakes, then you can't see the brake lights because you can't get out. So here for this one, this is the only one, but you can ask someone else to help you
Yeah.
or look in reflections. I want someone to ask to answer that question with a brick.
brick.
I really want someone to answer that question with a
You
brick.
can do it yourself.
Yeah, because then you can do it yourself. I want to know what an examiner would say if you just put a brick on. If you just said, "Oh, I'll just put a brick on the pedal."
If my test is going really well and I haven't got any minors, and that's the last thing they ask me,
Yeah?
I'll say it.
Thank you.
Tell me how you check the power-assisted steering is working before starting a journey.
Okay, this one's got a really shit answer in the DVSA guide bit, but here's how you make it real simple. Switch the engine off, and with your left hand, pull down on the steering wheel. You can feel that it's not moving. So here, we can't really move it. It feels like it's locked and stuck.
Yeah.
It's not. The power steering is just not on. So keep applying pressure. Keep pulling down with just your left hand, and then, yeah, there, and then twist the engine back to on. Feel the difference with the engine on,
yeah.
and it just like unlocks.
Yeah.
But that's the power steering kicking in. If that doesn't happen, then it's not working.
Okay,
So how do I test it?
Engine off.
Engine off, it's hard to move.
Pull
Engine
down.
on, it's easy to move.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do that, it's broken.
Yeah.
You can actually feel the system initiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
And tell me how you'd switch on the rear fog lights and explain when you'd use them. You don't need to exit the vehicle.
Okay. When you switch on the fog lights, do you know this one? This is in your theory test.
Rear fog lights.
Yeah.
When you can't see in front of you.
Usain Bolt, how far can you not see?
100.
Yes, 100 meters.
Yeah.
You'll remember it. Learning hack. When you can't see more than 100 meters, you turn your fog lights on, and how you turn them on is by first turning on your dipped headlights and then pressing the fog light button. Here's another learning hack. The dipped headlights in every car are always the jellyfish symbol, and the jellyfish with a crossed out tail is your fog lights.
Yeah.
Does look like a jellyfish, doesn't it?
It's actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Tell me how you switch your headlight from dipped to main beam and explain how you'd know the main beam is on.
Okay, easy one. To turn the dipped headlights on, we need to go to the jellyfish. Go for it. To switch them to main beam, push that stick away from you. So the difference between dip beam and main beam is a light, but it's dipped below the line of other people's bonnets,
Yes.
so it doesn't blind them in their face.
Yeah.
In your face. But the main beam illuminates the entire road, so we only use that when the road's dark.
Yeah.
There's no street lights and there's no oncoming vehicles, and that's how you activate main beam after you've turned on dip beam. How do you know main beam switched on? Main beam?
Because there's a blue light.
There's a blue warning light.
Blue
It's
jellyfish.
the only blue warning light on your dashboard. That's the answer.
At least
We're
it's a
in
cute car.
side the bonnet. Thank you. I love it. Yes, it's a cute bloody car.
It is.
There's 3 things that we need to know under here. Number 1, engine coolant.
This?
Oh, well done. How do you know that?
I don't know actually.
Is that a good guess?
It was a really good guess.
No way, sick. So the question is, identify the engine coolant and tell me how you would check it. You've identified it by pointing at it. We don't need to touch it, anything under the bonnet. But then, to show how much is in there, you go with the max and min, and the liquid should be in between that. Identify the brake fluid reservoir and tell me how you would check it.
Brake fluid reservoir.
Which one do you reckon brakes is?
Um,
Don't know. Should I
There's
tell
a
you?
lot of mechanics going on here.
There's the
Let's go.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah?
How did you...
Is that
Is that a
actually it?
guess?
Yeah.
No way, sick. So there's
There you
the
go.
symbol on the top of your brake fluid, and that's the universal sign for brakes. So if you get a car, it's always going to have that sign on top of the brake fluid.
Great.
So if you get brakes and they're like spongy or slack,
Yeah.
check here. If it's low, that'll be why.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
Again, we're looking for the,
The minimum.
minimum and maximum. Last one. How do you check the oil?
Come on, third time.
If you get this as well, that's going to be incredible. Yes, what?
Says oil.
It does say oil on
Yeah.
it. And you don't need to do this while you're on the test. You just need to say it. So what you'll say is, I'm going to take out the dipstick with a tissue or a cloth, wipe it off, and the indicator will be at the bottom. So we'll have a little section at the bottom of your dipstick that the oil needs to come up to. So we'll wipe that off. The dipstick's been sloshing around in oil, so we do need to wipe it off. Where's the hole? Stick it in the hole. Dip it into the oil, pull it out, and then the oil is coming up just above the minimum line. So we've got enough oil in the
Yeah.
car to keep it running. Beautiful. How's that?
Great.
Shall we tell me questions?
Yeah.
Nailed it?
Easy.
Easy.
Nailed it.
And then, because you don't do homework, you won't watch this back. But when you're coming up to your test, it will be well important. So you'll watch it and you'll be
I
like,
will
oh yeah, I
watch it,
remember.
yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Frankie.
Thanks.
High five.
We got it.
See you in the next one. Peace.